All right, happy Sunday. Well, we'll just go straight to this one, and it's going to be a very short one. I know quite a lot of videos have been, shot on this particular situation, and that is the issue of the bride that was caught, having intercourse with her ex on the day of their wedding. That's shortly after the reception, and I know a video has even gone forth from ONIF's TV, and but then I just feel we should still buttress on one or two things. Lately, there has been issues of, especially in the class of the celebrities, and I know these things we know about the celebrities because they are known. And I want to believe that there are quite a number of homes that are going through, hell, as it were, and going through issues that we are not hearing about. And so I'll just be sharing my opinion on this particular issue. Well, this guy shared this. Let's just read through what he shared, so that we will take it up. We'll take it up from there. Now let's read through. He said, let me quickly share this personal experience. In 2015, I attended a wedding after party was held in the couple's house. While the party was ongoing, the bride was being pounded doggy in at the back, at the corridor of the BQ by her ex. My friend's mom caught them, but couldn't raise alarm cause the bride is her niece. The person responded, wow, and he was going to say in wedding night, and the guy said not night, oh, it was just about 7 p.m. that day. Just 7 p.m. that day. I know I did a video some days ago that I talked to women and ladies. I think unfortunately we are now in that age where the pride of womanhood is being eroded by some people, and that is also to say that there are women and there are women, there are ladies and there are ladies, there are girls and there are girls. And I, like I said, and somebody said, no, I still feel it still boils down to, upbringing and grace, God helping one. Recognizing that you cannot raise any child alone. The Bible says that except the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord watcheth over a city, the watchman is watching but in vain. He said, lo, children are an heritage of the Lord. Now you are wondering, why would they have written those scriptures together? It took me time before I was able to unravel it. And so I came to realize that every child, whether boy child or a girl child, is like a building. It's a building, a structure. That type of structure, God knows. And so the Bible says that nobody can build it except God builds it. And that sends a signal quickly that, look, nobody can successfully raise a child without God's input. Because God is the one who has the blueprint of the house you want to build. You can help in bringing materials together, but it will not amount to anything unless he brings the blueprints, the architectural drawing of that child's life. And then it goes on to say, except the Lord watches over a city. The watchman is awake, but now two things. It's a city. So that means in every child, God is looking at least a city. Whether by influence or by, whichever way, God is looking at it that this child, the least the child will be is to be an influence, a positive influence over a city. That is the least. And so God talks about nations. He was looking at Abraham and he said, I see, you're going to have a child and the child is going to be a nation. He was talking of Isaac and he was talking of nations. He was talking of nations. So there are children like that. Now, that's the first thing to realize from the second verse. Now, the second thing to realize there is that except the Lord watcheth over a city, that means for us to need somebody to watch over that city, that means there is a treasure in it. And so, every child possesses a treasure. Every child possesses a treasure. This is a thing of shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It was so much of a shame that the woman could not raise an alarm. One, because the girl was or is her niece. The girl is her niece. And I think on the other hand too, she didn't want to spoil the day, because the home party was still going on. You know, after the reception, you get home and there's still some little celebration outside there. The home party was still going on. And they were pounding the girl just behind them. Now you now realize where this issue of all these recent issues that we have been seeing coming up, especially among celebrities, somebody saying that I don't own the first child that might have. How can you, why be legally married to you and you say you don't own the first child that she owns? Now this one, how do you explain this? Will you doubt it if the first child this girl has is not for the husband? Now one will almost run crazy or mad, you know, trying to unravel it, that between the time that the marriage was consummated at the altar and the evening time when, you know, it's been all consummated again, you know, through sex between the man and the lady, somebody else has come in between. So that means it's possible she was not pregnant before she got married. But then just before the real person came in, somebody had come in to sow an evil seed. Somebody has come to sow an evil seed. Guys, we need to be very careful. Extra careful. Those of us who are a bit on the stiff side, we were seen as, you know, like that you are too hard. You are too... No. You will remember that I didn't blame the woman in the first. I didn't blame that woman. What video did I do? I did a video, and I will not blame the woman. Why would I blame the woman? Did God, you know, God did not first of all come and ask Eve, what's happening? It was when Adam said it is the woman that God was, well, woman, what is it that you have done? She is not, even though she was the one who did the thing, she wasn't the initial issue there. The man didn't watch properly. But how do you explain this one? Do you expect that the man now begins to watch around to look after the wife on the day of wedding? Who would have expected it? I've seen issues of a woman giving birth to a twin. I think it happened somewhere in Asia. So a woman giving birth to a twin, and the two of them had different DNAs. They belong to different fathers. Why would you give us, Yorubas will say, F1 Igbo Didishon? Dudushan, how do they put it? How do you unravel such a mystery? Now I have this to add. The woman who caught them didn't do well, or she did well not to have raised an alarm. That's one. And then that depended on why she didn't raise the alarm. I think the reason why she didn't raise the alarm is not good enough. Yes, she tried to save her family a shame. She's tried to save the family a shame. But if she would have done excellently well, she would have saved the both of them, because all she did was to save a day. You only saved a day, but you plunged them into a future, a long-term agony. Because I tell you, that evil seed that was sown in between, the Bible says that while men slept, the devil came. The enemy came and sowed a tear in between the seeds. God sowed the seed, the good man sowed the seed at the church, at the reception, and one devil called X. And And so the woman didn't do well. That woman didn't do well. I don't know what your opinion is. I'd like you to drop your opinions, following this. That woman didn't do well as far as I'm concerned. She would have saved a long-term agony. Because whether you like it or not, whether that guy knew or he didn't know, it will still tell. It was a seed that was sown. And so you wonder why they don't just know why they are not understanding themselves. And then so she gives back to her first child. The child does not look like him. You are wondering. These are one of the reasons, or these are some of the ways this issue of firstborn bastards come up. And permit me to use the word bastards, firstborn, like that. Firstborns who eventually come up to say they are not owned by the father to which they were supposed to be owned. Firstborns that mothers have, women are great treasures when properly managed. When they are not managed properly, they get out of hand, and whatever you get could be very disastrous. And one of the things that we see today is what happened in Genesis chapter 3. You decide to eat whatever she brings, you could be eating your death. Adam decided to eat whatever Eve brought. Decided to eat just anything. Is there anything wrong with trusting her? No. There's nothing wrong with trusting her. Decided to eat just anything. And so he ate his life. He ate his life. How can your wedding day, how can another man sleeping with her? And so if that could happen that day, you can imagine subsequently what continues to happen. Guys need to be very, very sensitive. You are getting married to somebody. I think you should be very, very sure, because unfortunately, so many, more than 90% of the girls outside now already have somebody before they met somebody, before they now eventually met somebody. More than 90% are already used, as it were. And so, I think you should clarify to be sure that there has been a line of distinction between the person you are getting married to and the exes. And permits me to say that you must do everything possible to keep them apart. Somebody does not like what I just said. It looks as if you don't trust Abi. I didn't say so. You must do everything possible. Everything possible. So what that means is that the ex of that lady attended the wedding. She probably even was one of the people who came to spray her money, to the point that they now could have sex, behind. We all just need to be very careful. We all need to be very careful to avoid future agony. That's my take on this matter. Both sides, the guy, also the women. Let's be careful. Please be careful. You are more precious and treasurable than you can ever imagine. You were made from a finished product. The man was made from a raw material. You were made from a finished product. You are finer in making. Don't allow yourself to be used or messed up. Some ladies cannot even tell how many people had slept with them. They can't tell. You say, should I keep record? No, don't keep record. You can't even tell. It's a shame. It's a shame. It is a shame. And I know there are people who got married as virgin who eventually became something else too. So it looks like a two-way thing. The people who got married as virgins who are not good housewives, who are not good to be wives. There are people who were not virgins when they got married, and sincerely speaking, they are wonderful. They are wonderful. So there are two sides to it. And as for you, I'd like you to be the best. I would like you to be the best. I would like you to be the best. If you are not set to get married, and sincerely speaking, one of my ladies on ONIF TV had talked about, sex before marriage. You've just got to work on it. And let's avoid, things like this. Let's avoid things like that. Now, you know what? This lady didn't know that this was known. I'm not sure. She didn't know that somebody, or no, maybe she wouldn't believe that somebody else had known. I'm sure by the time she's seeing this post all over now online now, she will know the person that is. She will know that she's the one that she's talking about, and the guy involved will know. Let's just be very careful. Sincerely speaking, I don't know. I lost appetite quite a lot of appetite seeing this kind of dirty things happening.